that can bring you income in the meantime.
Right.
That's what I would focus on until we get a chance to get in there and look at the historic fabric that's
Right.
there.
Well, I mean, as far as separating cabins from RV sites, RV pads, it would have nothing to do with that, just the cabins. Correct.
And I would think an architect could be involved relatively soon and
Yes.
fast on this. And I would also, in kind of response to your question, Johnny Martin, on what more would be needed, I would further highly recommend keeping such architect involved with new and whatever else is coming in here, because what's also critical in the standards are the spatial relationships, the proportions, the scales, and this to where I think we need a preservation eye to review this and to work with the city on implementing such whatever and doing that.
I was gonna add that to address what Mr. Bryant was saying.
Yeah.
In the older part of the park, in the park itself, whatever you do in there that's new really needs to be looked at by the architect too, because what you've got in there isn't just the historic fabric in the building, but it's the historic layout of the park.
Right.
It's the sense of place of the park that could be compromised by going in and starting to pour concrete pads in there.
Correct.
I wouldn't do anything in there until.
Right.
Is that?
Well, I think there may be some spots that are permanently closed, where the pad sites that are closed in the historical spot, that may can be reopened with maybe
They're already there.
with some new wiring. They're already there.
Right.
That's what I was wondering about the new wiring.
Yeah, we can, sure.
Yeah.
As soon as you get a preservation architect in there and you can prioritize for him the things, Billy could prioritize for him the things he wants him to look at to make it as much of it as usable as possible.
Right.
Like the pool, the pads.
Because whereas these standards, these 10 same standards apply to our historic district members in meeting the petrified wood that are currently there, what we're doing is basically encompassing, by putting the park on the National Registry, we're looking at it as a fabric, as a picture, as a whole, as a unit of the old park, not
As a cultural landscape.
Yeah. And that would be it. So.
Do we know what that would cost? Does anybody know the price of something like that cost?
What would cost?
Architecture?
That's what he said about 5,300 is that. But, you know,
Really
that's just one man's.
Right.
There are others, and you know, there
And you
are
can
others
actually apply for grants to pay for that, matching grants to pay for that, if you want to go to that.
After the fact, after the hour.
No, if you get him in here and you start working, which is probably what you need to do.
Well, and I also will mention one thing that caught my eye in the literature Mary Salterella provided is that there's a deadline coming up, June 11, for
A grant.
for one really nice grant. So
Or what? What's it?
that was Preservation Trust.
It's the Texas Preservation Trust Fund and it's the Texas Historical Commission grant. And the Texas Historical Commission has discovered Glen Rose and they're very keen on the history, the intact history
Yes.
that they found here.
Yes.
And you could apply for that. You could actually, what you might think about doing is rather than applying by June 11th to pay for the plan, you might want to apply for some bricks and mortar work based on what the plan brings you. In other words, say, we're gonna hire an architect, we're gonna do a plan, we wanna apply for some bricks and mortar work, because usually you don't get the grant till the next year. So by then you have the plan done. And what this plan is gonna do for you is most foundations, the state trust fund grants, the federally funded certified local government grants that Karen's already getting, they will ask you, the first thing out of the box when you go in and say, we want to restore Oakdale Park, they're going to say, where's your preservation plan? You know, that's the very first thing they're going to ask you. So it will really help you to get those grants. You're welcome.
Any other questions? Any other questions? Okay, can I have a motion? item number 9, to take action on the above recommendation. You know, we can either do it now, we can postpone this until you have time to look at all the letters and everything that were here when you got here.